I cannot believe that it's been 6 months. I've been an au pair for 6 months. Crazy. Crazy. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Steph and I am an au pair in the USA. Today's video is my 6-month update. I cannot believe that I have been an au pair for 6 months. It's gone so incredibly fast and it feels like I arrived yesterday. But I have done and achieved so much in that period of time. So basically I'm just going to chat to you all about my 6 months in the USA so far, what I've done, what I've achieved, things that have happened, just everything to do with the first 6 months of my au pair term. And yeah, there's a lot. A lot has happened. I think I've managed to do a lot and experience a lot in the short space of time that I've already been here. Without further ado, let's recap on my 6 months as an au pair. So my journey getting here was very, very long, and I had to go to Serbia for 2 weeks because there was a travel ban between the UK and America. And because I already had my visa, I could get into the country, but only if I had been in a non-banned country for 14 days. So Cultural Care arranged this excursion for au pairs that had their visas, a select amount of them. Not everyone got to do it, unfortunately, but I was lucky enough to be included in that opportunity, which I'm very grateful for. And we were flown to Serbia. We were put in a hotel for 2 weeks with other au pairs and someone from Cultural Care. And we just stayed there and hung out for 2 weeks. And then I finally arrived in the USA on August 22nd. We did stay in New York for a night on the Friday that we arrived, and then we travelled to our host families on the Saturday, the 22nd of August. And I could not believe that I was finally in this freaking country. Like, it had been, I was supposed to travel in May, and I didn't end up traveling until August. So there was a massive limbo where I was like, am I even gonna go over here? What the hell's happening? So when I finally arrived, I could not believe it. I was so overwhelmed, but also incredibly happy as well. So yeah, I arrived at the end of August and then the fun began. My host family was so welcoming. They took me into DC on my first weekend here because I'm in Maryland and I live about 20 minutes from DC. So they took me into DC to the White House, to the monuments, and it was so much fun. And it was a nice bonding experience for us as well because I got to hang out with them outside of work hours, and it was a really nice chilled time. It was really hot though, like the first few weeks I was here. It was so hot. Also in August, not long after I arrived here, I became an ambassador for Cultural Care. That was amazing. I knew I wanted to be an ambassador before I even arrived in the States. So as soon as I got over here, my LCC put me forward for it, and I was pretty much straight away became an ambassador. As you can tell, I have my ambassador hoodie right here. That's very comfortable, by the way. And yeah, I've been really enjoying my role as an ambassador and being a buddy for people that are becoming au pairs and being involved in open houses and all that kind of thing for people that are becoming au pairs or wanting to become au pairs, and just doing activities to help build the au pair community and be like a cheerleader for Cultural Care. It's been great. So I really enjoyed that, and I'm still enjoying that now. Then my first full month in the USA was September. So in September we did a lot. I did a lot with my host family. It was the first month where I was, getting to know them still settling in, still getting into the routine. The first week of September was my birthday. My birthday is September 4th, and my host family was so lovely with that. They set up like banners and everything in the morning. They gave me a birthday donut. It was the cutest thing ever. And they got me a charm for my Pandora bracelet, an American Eagle, which is so cute. And my host mum and my host dad took me out for a meal on the evening of my birthday, which was so nice. And again, that was a really good bonding experience. To go out and do something with my host parents without the kids was really cool. And then I also went to the Cheesecake Factory for the first time, which, guys, when I tell you that the Cheesecake Factory is like god tier, I mean it. It's so good. So I went there with my friends Savannah and Delia, and I had the best time, and it was so nice to celebrate my birthday in the USA for the first time. I was still kind of a bit overwhelmed, so I think this year when I have my birthday it will be a bit more like chill, because I was still like, oh my god, I'm in the USA. But it was still so much fun. Again in September I visited DC again, but this time with my friends Lily and Savannah, and we walked all the way from the Capitol building all the way down to Lincoln. And then we got pizza at Georgetown Waterfront, which was for Lily's birthday, which is in the middle of September, and that was one of my favourite days ever. It was the first time I met Lily, and it was just really nice to see DC properly and experience the monuments, like all of them, all the way down. And it was amazing because I'd seen it on TV. It had been on my bucket list for a long time, and I was finally like seeing what I'd seen on TV in real life, and it was amazing. I also remember it being one of the hottest days I've ever experienced in my whole life on that day, and we got a bottle of water at Lincoln, and it was just so cold, and the best bottle of water I've ever drank in my life. But yeah, I remember sitting at the top of the Lincoln Memorial on the steps and just looking over at the monuments and just saying to Savannah and Lily, like, I cannot believe that we are here, like this is incredible. So that was a really monumental moment for me. Also in September, near the middle/end of September, it was the 19th of September, myself and my host family travelled down to North Carolina to our lake house. And we went on the boat, and it was really cool, and I met my host mum's parents for the first time, and it was really nice. And also on that same trip I drove down an hour more from the lake to Raleigh and visited T for the first time. T is a fellow au pair and one of my very dear British friends, and she is an au pair in Raleigh, and we do our Instagram page Au Pair Tea together and our podcast. And I met her for the first time on the 19th of September, and I stayed at her house, and it was so great and a monumental moment meeting T for the first time. It was like we were uniting as one au pair T, and it was great. So yeah, I spent the weekend with her, and I helped her host family decorate for Halloween because they decorate early. They decorate early here in the US. I explored Raleigh with her, and we did lives on our Instagram and did some podcasting things that we can't really do when we're kind of apart. So that was really cool, and a great weekend, seeing new things, visiting new people, seeing a new state. So that was really cool. That was my first trip in the USA. And then at the very end of September, going into October, I went to a pumpkin patch with my host family, which was my first experience of a pumpkin patch in the USA. And we picked loads of pumpkins and got ready for Halloween and went on a tractor ride. So that was really fun. Again, I remember it being really hot, and I was like, this is bizarre, like I'm in a pumpkin patch getting ready for Halloween and it's really hot. But yeah, I really enjoyed my first American pumpkin patch, because although we have them in the UK, they're not as big. And I've only ever been to one, and it was to take photos in the UK, and it wasn't as like much of a spectacle as it is in the USA. So that was so much fun. So now we are in October. October was a crazy month, one of the busiest months in the USA so far. A lot of things happened. It was quite the month. So the first thing that happened in October was at the very beginning, and it was my host kid's birthday. It was Halsey's 6th birthday, and we headed to Cape May in New Jersey to celebrate. My host family have a beach house on Cape May, and we went there for the weekend and we celebrated Halsey's birthday. We went up to the beach. It was so much fun. We had cake. It was really nice. And again, I met my host dad's parents that weekend as well, which was really great. I love meeting extended family, and just that moment, that weekend, was when I really felt part of the family and integrated into this family. So that was a really nice weekend, and again the weather was really good, and I saw another state, and I will be going back there again. It was so beautiful. The beach there was so pretty. Another trip I took in October was one of my favourite of my whole 6 months so far. One of my favourite moments that I've had in the US so far, and that was Niagara Falls with my group of friends. We all road tripped up to Buffalo, New York, and saw Niagara Falls for a weekend, and honestly it was the best trip I've ever done in my life. I had the most incredible weekend with incredible people, and I ticked off bucket list things that weekend. We went on the boat tour, we went to the aquarium, we went on the Cave of Winds, and it was just insane. I cannot recommend Niagara Falls enough. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I was just again standing on the boat under the falls with the water like falling on me, and I was just like, this is my life, like this is crazy. And I was just in that moment the happiest I've ever been, and I will remember that trip for the rest of my life. It was incredible. Also in October, obviously at the very end, is Halloween, and it was my first Halloween in the USA, and although it wasn't as big and spectacular as it would have been if COVID wasn't in the mix, it was still amazing, and it was really cool to see like all the houses decorated for Halloween, because they go big in the USA. Like they go out there for Halloween. They love Halloween. And although COVID was a thing, my host family still went trick-or-treating. The neighborhood did like a drive-in like trick-or-treat thing, and there was a lot of like trunk and treat, which is like when you drive up and there's candy in people's trunks of their cars, and you go around the cars and collect candy instead of like going to people's houses. And then people were getting creative by making like chutes with poles and putting the candy down the chute so that you didn't need to go near anybody. So it was really cool. And also for Halloween I celebrated with my host family, but I also went to my friend Maddie's house and did a scavenger hunt with her host family around the neighborhood, and that was so much fun. I really enjoyed my first Halloween in America, but I hope that this year I can celebrate it without COVID being in the mix and be able to go to like horror mazes and really experience the American Halloween. And then a couple of social media bits that happened in October. The first thing is I took over the Cultural Care account and the Cultural Care UK account, their Instagrams, and that was so much fun. It was really nice to be asked to do that so early on in my term. I mean, I was only in my second month, and it was an honour to take over the accounts, and I had so much fun answering people's questions, showing my life as an au pair. That was really cool. And then also Cultural Care came on and were a guest on our podcast, Au Pair Tea. The Cultural Care Training School director, Rachel, came on and talked about the online training school platform that people are currently having to do because of the pandemic. And it was really cool to get an insight on how they're working to make the training school a fun place, and how they're replacing like the in-person experience with an online experience that's just as interactive and fun for people that are missing out on the New York experience. So that was really cool. If you want to go and listen to the episode, I will link my podcast down in the description so you can go and check out that episode and all our other episodes. So that is October all done, and now we are into November. In November, obviously, we had Thanksgiving, which is a typical American holiday. We do not celebrate Thanksgiving in the UK, so to be able to celebrate that over here for the first time was really cool. I did not know what to expect from it. Like, I'd heard about Thanksgiving before, but I didn't really know what to expect or what was going to happen on the day. But we went to my host mum's house and had some amazing food, some food that I had never heard of before, like sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top. Like, what is that? But it was actually surprisingly good. And turkey, and it was really nice. It was just a really nice day, and we just spent the day as a family together, just hanging out, eating good food. It was really cool, and it was nice to experience Thanksgiving for the first time as well. In the same realm as Thanksgiving, me and my friends did like a Friendsgiving where we all just met up, we had food, we hung out, we made a lot of TikToks. We did like a Secret Santa thing, but Friendsgiving version, where we all picked a name and then we gave each other a gift, which was really nice, and everyone did like an A-star job on their gifts, and it was just like everyone was crying because like we all mean so much to each other, and it was just a really nice day that I got to spend with my friends. And then another thing that happened in November was Biden won the election, and I'm bringing that up here because it was really cool to be in America during an election. Obviously it only happens every 4 years, and to be in America and then in Washington DC during that time was crazy. Like, people put things in their yards like vote for Biden or whatever. Like, people go crazy in America for politics, and especially being near the Capitol, it seemed to be like 10 times more crazy here. So it was really cool to experience that. Unfortunately, due to like Trump and all that kind of thing, it was not as special as it normally was, I suppose, because of all the riots and stuff that went on. Washington DC was kind of a dangerous place for a few weeks, but it was still cool to be in the country during an election nonetheless. So now we are in December. December was a cool month. Again, it was Christmas, which is my favourite time of the year, so obviously I was very excited for that, and obviously to experience that in the USA for the first time was very exciting for me. So in December I headed down to North Carolina again to visit T again, this time for Christmas. And we exchanged gifts and we just had a really fun weekend, again doing podcast things and Instagram things that we can't do when we're separated, and we explored Raleigh again, we did a bit of Christmas shopping, we went to the North Carolina Museum of History, which was really cool because we're museum nerds. We love a museum. So yeah, we went down there and looked at that, which was actually really cool. Like, definitely recommend that. So anyone that likes a museum or history or anything like that. And yeah, we just had a nice weekend, and we decorated cookies with our host family, and it was just really nice to hang out with them for a weekend and see T again. It's always nice to see T. Then also in December, we had a snow day, which was really cool. We don't really get snow in the UK, like we do, but it's not like, can you really call it snow? Not really, it's more like slush and grossness. But this was like a proper snow day, and there was so much snow. Like, in the morning there was nothing, and then by lunchtime there was like feet of snow. It was so cool, and I got to play out in it with my host kids, and we went sledging, and we built a snowman, and we put snowball fights, we had hot cocoa, and it was just like the typical snow day that everybody imagines in their head. I also did Daily December over on my TikTok, which is Au Pair Steph, if you want to go check that out, where I made a little TikTok every single day in December, just showing what I got up to and showing my life as an au pair, and I actually succeeded and did a video every day up until Christmas. I was very proud of myself. And I just really like that I did that, because it's just something to look back on and see the memories I made every day. So that was really fun. Then I also celebrated Christmas with my friends. We had like a brunch. My friend Maddie made brunch at her house with like pancakes and French toast and bacon, and it was so cool. And we did Secret Santa, so everyone gave their Secret Santa a gift, and we played games and just chatted, and I just love spending time with my friends so much. So that was a really special day. And then obviously celebrated Christmas at the end of December with my host family, and it was one of the best Christmases I've had ever. It was so cool. It was just a really nice day. I hung out with my host family. We exchanged gifts, we had good food. I cooked a cottage pie, which is a British dish, on Christmas Eve for the family, which was so nice. And yeah, and I video called with my mum back home. She had sent some gifts over, so I opened them on video call with her. It was just like a really nice day, and I felt very content and grateful for my life on that day. So yeah, celebrating Christmas in the USA was cool. And again, they go big for everything, including Christmas, and the decorations everywhere on people's houses were insane. My host kids went for Santa's brunch, and I'm sure that they do like so much more and go so much bigger again when COVID is not a thing. So hopefully this year I can experience that bigger than I did this year. And then at the end of December, I actually got COVID. Yes, it got me, but I was fine. I was in quarantine for 10 days and nobody around me caught it off me, so I was very lucky. My host family didn't get it, my friends didn't get it. I didn't get super ill with it, I was just fatigued and I lost my taste and smell, so I was, you know, quarantined until it went, but we're all good now. And yeah, that happened, but unfortunately I was in quarantine over New Year's, so I didn't really get to celebrate New Year's, but I did have a video call with my friends and we brought in the new year together, which was nice. And I obviously FaceTimed my mum when it became midnight in the UK. So yeah, I didn't get to celebrate it like massively because I had COVID, but still cool. And this year I am hoping again that COVID shoes away and we can do something incredible for New Year's this year. So now we are in 2021 and in January. So in January I actually moved house. We now live in a townhouse and so I have my new room. I actually did a room tour a couple of videos ago, so if you want to go check that out, you can. I also booked a trip in January, so I am heading up to, or down to Atlanta and then driving down to New Orleans. I'm actually going on Saturday, so I'm filming this on Wednesday, and on Saturday I am going on a trip, which is really cool. So I booked that back in January, which is very exciting. I really want to try and travel some more, obviously considering safety and everything, but I want to travel as safely as I can, as much as I can throughout this year, because like I said, the 6 months has flown by. So I want to try and take advantage of the time that I have. The social media kind of things that have happened is we started season 2 of Au Pair Tea. So we are now kicking off a new series called Interviews, where we're interviewing au pairs from all over the world and trying to get different perspectives on au pair life and different topics of au pair life and seeing how people have dealt with different things. And we have so much planned for season 2 and we're very excited for it. So that kicked off in January. So again, I'll link my podcast down below if you want to go and check it out. But again, January has been a bit of a slow month, and now we are in February and we're on a 6-month mark, and that's crazy, so crazy. So in my remaining 6 months of my first year, I'm obviously going to be registering for my extension, which I'm going to do a whole video on, and again we're doing a podcast episode on it as well. I'm planning on traveling more, so I'm planning a trip to Chicago in April and New York as well at some point in March, I think. So we really want to try and see as much as I can in my remaining 6 months of my first year. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. I am planning on extending for another 12 months, so I'm going to register that at the end of this month. So yeah, it's a very exciting time and I'm just loving every single second of my time over here. I have grown in confidence, I am happy. You know, it's been a roller coaster of a time, but overall I am so happy and I'm enjoying it so much, and I recommend this experience to anybody that is watching this. But yeah, that is my 6 months in the USA. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and be sure to head over to Instagram and follow me at Au Pair Tea to follow my au pair journey over there. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!